Trump will not be president.
Highly critical, biased text messages between senior FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page.
There will be no question about the outcome of this election.
And she got ahead of herself. This utterly stunned this campaign.
Head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow.
Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power.
The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. We want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
These declassified documents that were just released.
Officials in the Obama administration were asking for the identities to be unmasked of Americans.
Unmasking of aides and staffers of the incoming president.
The basic charge, political spying.
To disrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Unmasking of American citizens. It could be a real problem.
Why is it that the unmasking of Flynn somehow ended up in the pages of the Washington Post?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
The vice president said that yesterday, and then the last name on this list is Joe Biden.
The Obama administration was bitter. They wanted to do everything they could to undermine the incoming Trump administration.
Really designed to sabotage and really upend the new administration.
An outgoing president and a vice president and a Washington Post columnist and the FBI setting up an incoming administration.
Wow.
That's a real conspiracy, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday. Going to check. Yep, my volume is on. Usually I have to check the volume to make sure that Facebook is not messing around with me. Welcome to the Real Truth podcast with common sense. It's Monday night. Long weekend is completely gone. It was the last long weekend of the summer. Pretty much tomorrow, there's actually 2 days that I regret throughout the year. That's usually the... It's not really a stressful or depression kind of day, but it's the 2 days that I hate the worst. Is the first day of school, obviously, for some reason, because I know summer's over. And then obviously January the 2nd, which is, Christmas holidays are over and we know what's around the corner. Tons of snowstorms, tons of snow to shovel, and cold weather. So anyway, that's me crying for tonight. But anyway, let's start off the podcast to all you common sensors, you truth seekers, the Patriot family, our American patriots, the Canadian patriots, our common sensors. Let's just hope everybody except the Elbows Up crew. Okay. And if you're watching and you're an Elbows Up crew, well, you're definitely not going to last long, to be honest with you, because I love Trump. I hate Skidmark, Carney. And that alone should have you, taken off and definitely skipping the podcast. But anyway, let's go. Let's do our shout outs, because we always start off with our shout outs, guys. Can't have a podcast without the shout outs to see which of my Freedom family is on tonight. So the first shout out's going out to my brother from a different mother, to Sean from Oshawa. How you doing, John? Let's do this, he says. Mr. Gilles Bourgeois, Denise Doadon, Miss Patty Vautour, Charlie Hudson, and of course her prize-winning puppies, Freedom Lynn, Miss Perez, Vincent Guimont, brother from a different mother. How you doing, Stephen? Mr. Burt, Mac, Brenda Pryor, Judy Horn from Kentucky, Nancy, Mr. Dale. How you doing, Irene? Miss Ann Austin from Moncton. Mo from Somerset, Manitoba. Louis. Juanita Genevieve from, of course, The Rock. Miss Debbie Gray, Yolanda, Jan Grabowski, Michael Bloom, Anne Marie, Chevy. Who else, guys? Who else? Miss Amy. I don't even know what that stands for, Miss Amy. Lisa Bork, Sylvie and Julien Saunier. Janice from Home Depot. Haven't seen her for a bit. Sylvia from the island. Miss Annette. Miss Lise LeBlanc. Debbie Kwan. Mine has been like that for a week now. John Daly from Pennsylvania. Brother from a different mother. Serge Bernard from Shetiac. How you doing, Joanne? Cecile and Michelle from Ontario, and Miss Lisa from the UK, which is what, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's how dedicated she is. 1 o'clock. John says the only podcast I watch. So, guys, just to let you know, I've been seeing the screen coming on and coming off, coming on, coming off. Whatever you do, if something happens, stay on. If it comes off, I'll make sure I get back on. You know, I'm a one-man crew. Facebook likes to do things to me. Anyway, I got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I got a lot of videos. I got a lot of photos, and we're just gonna get right into it. Obviously, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna start off with the boring stuff, which is the Canadians, the Canadian politics. Obviously, you know, the number one mass problems, which, you know, I was about to say mass immigration that's happening in Canada. So basically last Friday, I had a little get together with like-minded people like myself to think about getting into the politics with the whole, what we need to do. Like anything else, which I'll be talking to them the next time we meet up, is like anything else. Before you start a house, you build, obviously you got to start with the foundation, and then you do the framework. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing the foundation before I start framing. So that's a little spiel that I'll be giving to the crew next for the next meeting, which I kind of know what it is. Me and Scott knows, but we're not going to let the you know, the cat out of the bag until next Monday for the next location. But anyway, let's go through some things in Canada, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So first thing with Canada, of course, let's go with this. Let's start off with this, guys, because I think we'll start off with Carney, because I don't think I talked about this, and we'll go further and further with the Canada, and then switch over to obviously the United States. Let's see here. So this one's from Mark Carney. So Mark Carney brings back the carbon tax disguised as a clean fuel regulations. This new tax will increase fuel prices by 17 cents. All right, 17 cents. That's didn't we tell you guys this? Didn't we tell you that he wasn't getting rid of the carbon tax? He was just going to rename it for all you elbows up tards. So 17 cents. I mean, did you guys actually think that they were going to get rid of the carbon tax? The only country in the entire world that pays carbon tax has to be Canada, which gives out not even 0.8 to 1% of the green emission, the emissions, the CO2, which we need CO2, obviously, for the people that don't remember grade 6 biology, which a lot of people don't remember. Obviously, it helps the trees grow. It's plant food, really. So yeah, he's bringing back what he calls, what's it called again? I had a brain fart there. I don't even know what he calls it again. He's bringing back the clean fuel regulation. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a snap election, just to let you know. All right. This is all being done for disclosure. I've told that when he won the election. I said, you know what? Is either Trump's going to let him expose himself with the Liberal Party, or we're going to have a tough 4 years. Either way, I know Trump's in charge. It's called exposure, but we're still going to pay the price because of these elbows up. And I don't blame Trump for doing it. I really don't blame Trump for doing it. Saying, okay, you want to mess around? Okay, you Canadian tards. We're going to get this. All right. Second thing, this is a little bit just to let the people know. what the nurses are being trained to do. And this comes from Roberta Ray, all the way from, she's from all the way from Vancouver. And she posted this the other day, and I forgot to share it last Thursday. But check this out. For the people that are anti-vaccine, this is what the nurses and the doctors, but the nurses are trained to look for. You guys are going to be shocked when you see this, okay? Check this out. All right, nurses are taught to give newborns multiple vaccines if they think the parents are anti-vax. So if you look on number 3, it says if there's any suspicious that the parent will not have the child to like bring them to the pediatrician or healthcare to follow up on immunizations according to the optimal immunization schedule, it is recommended vaccines can be administered simultaneous. So I don't know if you guys can understand that, but that's literally saying that the nurses have permission, if they have any kind of suspicion that you are not going to come to give your kids more poison, to have AD&D, ADHD, autistic, literally Down syndrome. Obviously kids are born with Down syndrome. Don't ask me. I never got into that whole theory of how that happens. But anyway, just the whole ADHD, ADD, autistic is like unbelievable in the province. Well, actually in the world, especially in North America. Not in the world, sorry, in North America. All right, North America, Canada, United States. I used to be 1 in every 10,000. Now it's 1 in every 64 or 1 in every 32 by 2030. But right now, attentively, it's 1 in every 64, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So I thought that would be, and speaking of vaccinations, I had this retard from up north saying, hey, let's not forget about how vaccines change your life. And she was praising the vaccines, just to let you know. I took her name off because obviously I'm getting into politics and I don't want to shame this person. But this is what she put in. She goes, vaccines that change your life. In 1796, smallpox, 1885, rabies. Humans getting rabies. That's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever even heard of in my entire life. 1890, tetanus. 1896, typhoid fever. 1906, tuberculosis. 1923, don't know how to pronounce it, diphtheria. 1926, whooping cough. 1932, yellow fever. 1937, flu. 1952, polio. 1963, measles. 1967, mumps. 1969, rubella. And there's something in there with 1970 something, but they forgot to put the 1918, right? Remember the good old Spanish flu? They forgot about that. I wonder why they forgot about that. But she was definitely, a libtard and definitely vaccinated herself. So we're going to keep on going with the Mark Carney. This is the piece of shit liar that reported before the election that he never met with the Jiangsu Council, Commerce Council of Canada, which is pronounced JCCC. Mark Carney, with a straight face on live TV, literally said that he never met any of those people. The very group he's seen pictured here with. Take a good look at that, guys. This is what he lied. Well, one of many lies, obviously. All right. So we're going to delete that because I really don't care about what happens with that. So this apparently just came out today because of the air show. Okay. The Toronto Air Show. Apparently it's inflicting deep trauma on the Palestinians in Canada. So critics argued that the presence of F-35 fighter jets triggered the families of those living in Gaza. So what they're saying is they got to stop doing air shows because it's reminding the people from Gaza that live in Canada or in Toronto, it's giving them bad emotional stress because it's apparently they got bombed. You know what I mean? We're not going to talk about the PTSD of what our soldiers that are like homeless right now on the streets. And if you guys are wondering why there's such a big outbreak of homeless when it comes to soldiers, because they use soldiers. And I'll say it once, I'll say it twice. And I know a few soldiers right now that are having heart problems, including heart attacks and stents and double bypass surgeries, including guys that I referee with. They use our soldiers as pin cushions. I don't care what anybody says. They literally, if you don't know this by now, but in the Army in the States, in the Army in Canada, they usually use these guys as guinea pigs. That's all. That's it. That's all the Army that they use them for is guinea pigs. That's why they suffer from PTSD. So I always get the clown that says, Jeff, you don't know what these people have been through and what they see in war. We don't have war, okay? And the only war we see is Americans doing it on civilians from other third world countries to start a war. That's number one. But number two, common sense says, as a firefighter, I've seen some pretty nasty things. As a paramedic, they see some pretty nasty things on a daily basis. I don't see too many paramedics, homeless with PTSD or firefighters, right? Put your hands up if you know any ambulance drivers or ambulance people, paramedics that are actually, homeless with PTSD and firefighters or even police, even though whatever for the police, all right? I have as much as respect for the police as I have in a $2 hooker. So anyway, just to let you know. So this just happened not too long ago, this week, in Moncton, in my hometown. Apparently, a police operation on the 100 block of West Lane. I used to live on West Lane once upon a time, involving RCMP patrol members, ERT members, and a K9 team. Took an individual in custody. Now, I know you guys can't see this, obviously, because it's pretty small. But if you look at the picture on the left-hand side, you'll see the person on the window that they were chasing, all right? Don't ask me why. No one knows why yet. Unconfirmed reports suggest that it may be related to a recent robbery, okay? That's unconfirmed. But that's, I don't know. That person there is not a Canadian, just to let you know. For the people that can't see, it's more like an Israeli, Iraqi, Palestinian, just someone from the desert, we'll just say. When you blow up the picture, you can literally see that it's definitely Muslim, just to let you know. And obviously they're not going to report this, all right? That wasn't on the news, just to let you know. That was, like people filming it, people snapping photos, news chasers, you know what I mean? And speaking of more stuff, I take a look at this, guys, is for the vaccine, since, I'm jumping around on the vaccinations. Apparently in Vancouver General Hospital, they're bracing for a 75% rise in cancer cases. Their slogan is, help us rise above. That's right, guys. Vancouver General Hospital is bracing for 75% in cancer cases. Yeah, I think we know why that is happening, right? Especially in Vancouver and BC. Remember that piece of shit, whatever her name was, for the health minister, Bonnie Henry, I think her name was. There's so many pieces of shit for the health ministers that should be all hung, to be honest with you. I just know for a fact, if I would have taken the jab and was misled and I found out I had cancer and they knew about it, there wouldn't be enough RCMP to find the body. Let's just put it that way, of our health minister. But I was bright enough and smart enough and used common sense to know better. I just feel sorry for the people that were duped. All right? 75%. And trust me, it's happening on a daily basis, because I've sent out another bunch of ivermectin, fenbenzidol last week. And I've got another bunch to be sent out this week that I had to order more. All right, just to let you know. Speaking of, Skidmark Carney, I love Danielle Smith. I only disprove of something that I don't know if it's true with the whole, she's trying to hire more African police or Punjab police. I don't know if that's true. But anyway, we'll just leave it like that. But apparently, the Republic of Alberta is in open revolt. So they have a Republic of Alberta, which kind of reminds me of what my party is going to be in New Brunswick. I'm thinking calling it the Republic of New Brunswick. But of course, I want the gang and I want the group to understand that, if we can do something like that and kind of, we would have the Republic of Nova Scotia, the Republic of Ontario, the Republic of BC. If we all kind of maintain as the Republic of our province, we would definitely have a good party because we would all represent the same thing, just to let you know. All right. So anyway, Alberta refuses to enact Carney's federal industrial carbon prices increasing. That's right. She is not going to listen to Skidmark Carney. So obviously, I love the woman. She's awesome. She knows what's up. And speaking of vaccination, for the people with common sense, here's a good common sense poster for you, which you guys, I'm hoping you guys remember. The people who forced you to get the COVID-19 vax to keep your job allowed 5 million of these Muslims into the country without the jab. Just to let you know, all right, because that's a true fact. There's no lie to that, guys. For like 5 million of these cockroaches were let into our country unvaccinated. I wonder why that narrative. What was happening that they didn't get vaccinated? You know, because obviously COVID doesn't hit Muslim people, but Catholic Christian churches were shut down. The mosques were staying open. These people didn't have to wear a mask because it was against their religion. I guess COVID was scared of them, just like what they do to gay people, throw them off of roofs. So the COVID virus, I hate using the word virus, the COVID virus was scared to get thrown off the roof. That's why he was allergic to Muslims. Idiotic. Now, when I went to my little get-together Friday, you know, I had some questions and I answered them perfectly fine. We had a good group. And over the weekend, I got a couple messages with a person saying, Jeff, we can't blame the immigrants for everything because they were tricked into coming here to have a better life. All right, tricked. And I would say 10% of that is true. Honest to God, I say 10% of that is true. All right. And 90% is not true. That's not true at all. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you come to Canada, you're supposed to fit in or F off. You're supposed to come in, do our laws, our morals, our values. Don't bring your stuff that you had back home to this country. All right. So I'm going to give you some examples because this is not true. All right. This is in Brampton right now, guys. In Mississauga. They unveiled a 51-foot statue of a Hindu god in Mississauga, Ontario, the tallest Lord Ram statue in North America. All right, just to let you know. And now I don't know what you people are doing in Mississauga, but that thing would be burnt to the ground if I was living in Mississauga, or it would be graffiti to hell. All right. So you people in Mississauga, which is almost impossible because most of the people in Mississauga are all Hindu people anyway. And I guarantee they probably have somebody watching it. I guarantee they probably have a guard, some security that Mississauga town's paying to watch that so people wouldn't be able to burn it down, cut it down, whatever it's made of, light it on fire. You guys are beta, cockless, man bun wearing libtards. If there's any kind of Canadian that lives in Mississauga that would have that there. All right. These people are not here to assimilate. These people are here to take over, just to let you know. All right. And I'll show you another thing. I'm going to show you a video. I shared it on my wall today, but not everybody follows my wall, which I don't know why. But I'm going to show you a few videos just to let you guys know what they're here for. All right. Specifically what they're here. And you can tell me I'm wrong after these 3 videos, and maybe it might change your mind. But check this out. Here's the first video. I remember seeing this video over 3 years ago. It made me so enraged, like my blood pressure, but I already knew what was going on. But this video I'm always going to keep to show people if they ever go against me with immigration. Check this out.
What would happen to a gay couple in Palestine, sir?
What?
What would happen to a gay couple in Gaza?
Executed according to Islamic law. Really? Islam doesn't endorse gayism. Islam doesn't endorse homosexuality. Just like Canada doesn't endorse a lot of things.
So would you like to see Sharia law in Canada replace Canadian law?
At some point it will. You know, because we have families, we are making babies. You're not. Your population is going down the slump.
That's
right?
Yeah.
by 2060, according to Pew Research Institute, your research, by 2060, Muslims will be the biggest religious group the world over. What are you going to do then? Actually, are you going to oppose Sharia even then?
Well, you know what? I'm very appreciative of the honesty. We don't usually get that. So you do support Sharia. You do want a Muslim majority nation in the West End, correct?
One day we can have a Muslim majority nation here in Canada. Right in your face.
But see, I think that's the difference between you and I. I don't want any unfairness, even because you're a Muslim. But at the same time, I don't want to see people being executed for their sexual orientation.
Why would you not want people like, it's because of these abnormal sexual orientations that your population is going down the slump as we are growing everywhere.
Yeah, that was, I know everybody didn't see the full, it was like a 5-minute, just to let you know. This gentleman was speaking the truth. Like, there was 5 minutes to that. I just can't find the full version. God bless Rebel News. But there was more to it. There was more to that interview that would have made people discuss it. It was chopped up, but I think you guys got the point. Okay, I think you guys got the point to it. And if you didn't get the point, check out this Canadian video. Check this out. This Canadian video of a Punjab immigrant singing. I'll let you guys tell me what the song is all about by watching the video. You guys tell me what it is. Check this out. Did you guys see that video, or was it too fast for you? So what did that video show that you guys seen that you're going to see a lot more of those videos, just to let you know? Anybody see it? Silk taking over? Yeah. What else did you guys see on that video? Basically, down with the white man. Yeah, that's basically what they're doing. They're literally doing videos of them beating up a Canadian man. Thank you, Debbie. She got it right there. Beating up Canadian people. Just to let you know. All right? They're trying to normalize this. They're trying to normalize this. Abuse of white people. Yeah, you guys know about it. So it's not going to get any better. All right? For the people that think it's going to get better. I'm a person with common sense, more common sense than the average Joe, I guess you could say. And I've said it once, I said it twice. I've lived across Canada. I've seen what diversity does to many towns and cities. All right, for the last 30 years, it's not a good thing, and it's getting worse. It's unbelievable, even worse than I ever thought it would be. All right, just to let you know, 2018, when I finished my my school in firefighting, and I went to Edmonton to do my on-the-job training. And Edmonton, like the West Edmonton Mall, was unbelievable in 2018 of how many Punjabs were all over that mall. I couldn't believe it. That was 7 years ago. I can't even imagine what it looks like now. All right. Okay. So speaking of the immigration, before I get into the Trump, because we got 30 minutes left. Let's do another video just to show you how much they're trying to fit in with the Canadian culture, I guess you could say. This is a video by Mario. He does a lot of good stuff when it comes to the Canada stuff. I really don't waste no time, but check this out.
I keep getting more and more videos of these guys, and it seems to be the same crew that keeps going to the exact same bridge in Muskoka and aimlessly firing their firearms. And honestly, I question the legality of some of those firearms. I truly believe one or two are semi-autos, which are no longer allowed. Regardless, this is unsafe shooting that is happening. And some of the reports that I'm getting from other individuals that go to PAL courses and some of the questions that are being asked by certain individuals, it's deeply concerning. Things like, can my friend borrow a firearm? If a firearm is used for illegal activity, can that firearm be traced back to me as the owner? Why on earth would anyone want to ask those questions? I truly believe that instructors have a duty to flag individuals like that are asking these questions to the RCMP. In addition, if you yourself witness anything like this, call the RCMP. There's something called the CFO, a Chief Firearms Officer. Send them the video, show them where you are, tell them where you are, and have them show up. If those people have their license, that license will be completely removed. They will no longer be allowed to own a firearm. If they don't have a license, then they go to jail. But this type of behavior is not normal. It's not acceptable, and it's not of Canadian values. I've made several videos showing this exact same bridge that was built by volunteers, completely littered, and I mean littered, with brass shells, including shells from shotguns like you saw in this video. Water bottles, trash, even attempts to shoot things off of the bridge while they sit them on the ledge, causing damage to the wood because they're aiming for it. None of this is normal. There's people in certain videos that I've shown, which I won't bother showing again, where they're shooting in the air, looking away while their friend is right beside them, literally within a few feet. None of this is normal. None of this is welcome. Record, speak up, call the RCMP, call the CFO. Just type in CFO number RCMP and you'll get the phone number. You'll even get the email address. There are laws and there are rules that are being broken, and it's on us to speak up and notify the authorities. Don't call the police, call the CFO, call the RCMP.
So yeah, as you can see, and I don't know if you guys seen the video. I mean, one of the bridges in Bracebridge, actually, where it was for a four-wheeler, they wouldn't let a Canadian drive by with his four-wheeler because a bunch of them, there's about 6 to 8 of them, shooting up in the air, shooting at the signs. Like it was, they trashed the whole area with hundreds and hundreds of bullet casings. And the bridge is all torn apart, a brand new bridge too. And they left all kinds of garbage. You think they're here to assimilate? For the people that are asking me, don't blame the immigrants. They were promised a dream. That's such a crock of crap, you know, that I mean, I don't buy that. And I didn't want to, you know, say anything bad to hurt anyone's feelings that asked me that. It's not the immigrants' fault. They were tricked into coming here. That's such a crock of crap, man. I mean, no, sorry, I don't buy it. If you want to buy it, that's your problem. I got lots of proof to show you that stuff. Well, I showed you enough proof tonight, enough to make any kind of elbows up voter go, you know what? Maybe he's got a clue here. All right, maybe he's got a clue of what's going on. So anyway, I'm going to show you another thing with the whole immigrants by Mario. It's a minute and 30 seconds long of how immigrants are being treated better than Canadians, or immigrants are being treated better than us Canadians that pay tax. Here we go.
Why do immigrants get better treatment than we do? Watch this. I made a video talking about Conestoga College, and I heard from a professor. He said, as a former professor, I can't even begin to tell you how bad it was. One story I'll share with you is a student who I caught cheating 4 times, including a word-for-word perm paper that was copied from another student. It should have been an automatic failure of the course and a review in front of the board, but it got worse. I was told I had to make his final worth 80% and that his term paper would not be counted in his mark. No academic integrity review, no recourse. During the final exam, he was a no-show. However, there was a person in my class who had never been there before. I let him write the exam, and at the end I approached him and asked for his student ID and his driver's license. This same student gave his cousin his ID and login credentials to write the exam on his behalf. It gets worse. I called security, and upon further questioning, it was determined that this person had received these credentials since the first year semester. He admitted to handing in assignments on behalf of his cousin. Automatic expulsion and deportation, right? Not a chance. I was forced to give him a passing grade. It happens in academia, and it happens in our society when they commit a crime. Judges are seemingly handing down less harsh sentences, probation or time served in order for them not to get deported or in order for them to still get their citizenship in Canada despite them breaking laws. So my question again is, why?
Well, Mario, your question, if you would follow my lives, you would know that it's called destabilization. Obviously, it's been pre-planned since the 90s, but really taken into effect after 2010 for the last 15 years. But it really got turned up during the COVID years where people were, sleeping and staying home. Then they really poured in and opened the gates to destabilize, to hurry up. Because they were supposed to do it in 2009, destabilize the economies, countries, and then by 2021 was what they call Agenda 2021. During the first COVID scare, which was the SARS back in 2009, that was the first plan. But now what they're doing is, because they're trying to hurry up for Agenda 2030, is they need to demolish, destabilize every Commonwealth country in the world. All right. So there will be no more jobs for the Canadian people, and then will be replaced and dependent on the government, all right, to do things, universal basic income that people are trying to scare you, and digital ID and all electric cars and all that bull crap that people are still talking about, which is not going to happen. But anyway, that was the plan, Mario, just to let you know. If you follow me, you would know that. All right. I shared the videos. Now let's get into the United States. First things first, I shared this on my wall the other day. Guys, Trump posted this. It said, "The world will soon understand." All right. The world will soon understand. What did I tell you about drip, 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 flood? Drip, 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 flood. What do you think? The guy lost his marbles? You think he just, a couple of weeks ago, I think a month ago, he literally came out and said, Biden was executed in 2020. He literally went on live to say Biden was executed in 2020 and kind of chuckled about it. All right. What do you think? And why didn't the news go all over him and said he was losing his mind? Because they know, and they don't want the people to know. You understand? Because they'll be questioning, well, who the hell was the guy playing Biden for the last 3 years? You know what I mean? So he didn't lose his marbles. I told people I am the only podcaster in all of Canada, besides Roland in the States, that has said from day one, this is all a big movie. There's not one person so far that I know that has admitted knowing what's been going on. But sure enough, if I start to sell fear and fearmonger, like a lot of them, I'll be getting those 80, 90,000 views too. But again, Trump's not losing his marbles. This is all a big movie. All right. Check this out also. So apparently, Trump went on and said George Soros and his son with the radical left should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protests and much more, all throughout the United States of America. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore. Never give it so much a chance to breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. That includes his crazy West Coast friends, which we all know what he means by the West Coast. Be careful. We're watching you. Thank you for your attention. Well, that again is a drip, because we all know the Soros have been literally executed back in 2020. All right. And trust me when I say that, there's no more Soros. Let's go with a couple more things for Donald Trump. Despite a very high popularity, and according to many, among the greatest 8 months in presidential history, ABC and NBC fake news, two of the worst and most biased networks in history, give me 97% bad stories. If that is the case, they are simply an arm of the Democrat Party and should, according to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that, because they are so biased and untruthful, an actual threat to our democracy. Mega. We all know that Trump has taken over those newspapers, but obviously there's still a lot of, sick people in the United States. Obviously, there's still Democrat people that still like camel toe that would vote. This was his tweet or truth this morning. Donald Trump. Check this out. So he's given the drug companies justify the success of their various COVID drugs. Many people think they are miracles that save millions of lives. Others disagree. With the CDC being ripped apart over this question, I want the answer and I want it now. I have been shown information from Pfizer and others that is extraordinary, but they never seem to show results to the public. Why not? They go off to the next hunt and let everyone rip themselves apart, including Bobby Kennedy Jr. and the CDC, trying to figure out the success or failure of the drug companies' COVID work. They show me great numbers and results, but they don't seem to be showing them to many others. I want them to show them now to CDC and the public and clear up this mess. One way or the other, I hope Operation Warp Speed was as brilliant as many say it was. If not, we all want to know about it and why. Thank you for your attention. So obviously, if you're paying attention, he's literally, drip, 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 flood. He's telling everybody now about the Operation Warp Speed. All right. I saw something. Trump's going to put digital ID in all hospital. That's not true. Please, guys, stop it with the digital IDs. All right. Stop it with the digital IDs, especially when it comes to Trump. I've already shared the real truth that Trump has literally shut down anything when it came to digital IDs. He's already shut that down. I don't care when anybody said, well, I've seen that. No. Do you know how easy it is to take a Trump post and change the words and paste and copy and do all that stuff? Shit, if anybody wants a university degree from Harvard, give me a call. I'll do you a university degree from Harvard. I mean, give me a break now. All right. So what else did anybody says? I just don't get how people can clearly see how the stars have been replaced with whatever. Yeah. I mean, Debbie, I still get a kick out of it with the stars. There's no movies now with the A-listers. They're stepping down, which is pretty funny. Let's see. Speaking of stepping down, I thought this was pretty funny. I actually got banned for a month for posting this. When I put this on my wall, I'm pro oxygen and sweet, beautiful oxygen. And then, of course, you got a Democrat underneath or a libtard, trying not to breathe the oxygen because they do everything opposite to Donald Trump. I got banned for a month just for that. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I literally got banned for a month for sharing that. What was this about? Yeah, no, that was to do with immigrants, which I shared that last week. In case of people didn't know, this is what happened in down in out west in Canada. There's this Islamic State member making terrorist attacks in Canada, stabbing multiple people. One first asking if they are Muslim, then attacking after they said, no, welcome to the new Canada. So not only did this guy stab this guy and sliced his throat, he got off the bus and not even 20 minutes later went to another bus and stabbed another person. All right. Just to let you know. Get used to it, guys. Get used to it. And to be honest with you, that's why they're trying to take our guns away. They've been trying for the longest time to take our guns away. Don't fall for that trap. I know people with common sense won't. All right. I dare the RCMP to come to some of my friends to try to take their guns. They don't have the balls to do it anyway. I wouldn't have guns here anyway in my house, but we have a good collection. We're just waiting for that day to pop off. It'll never happen, thanks to Trump. But if that day ever popped off, we have enough to start a war with the amount of people that we're in this underground group, which I keep on telling them nothing's going to happen. But just be especially with the government. But like this Muslim terrorist guy that's going around slashing people's throat, that I can't predict, obviously, because they let a lot of them in. So don't be afraid to pop one off. Shoot one up if they ever try to stab you, right? obviously, but there's going to be more, guaranteed. And he'll probably be let out within a couple days, to be honest with you. So I'm just waiting for that. I told you guys, if I was prime minister, two things would be literally shut down: RCMP and our military. Those two would be literally defunded like the very next day. Just to let you know. I already told you the plans for the military, and I already told you anything federal that has anything to do with anything with law and justice with federal would be literally defunded and abolished. So anyway, just like what Donald Trump's doing in the States. This was sent yesterday by Donald Trump. Why does the fake news ABC's This Week with George Solantopoulos, he makes fun of him anyway, so Slopoptopoulos have a low IQ commentator, Donna Brazile, on the show? Wasn't she totally discredited when she gave crooked Hillary Clinton the questions to a debate? Wasn't she fired by the fake news CNN for so doing? Why would ABC News hire such a dumb retread? I guarantee that retread would probably be on a Q post. Check out her disastrous interview with Megyn Kelly from years ago. A total classic. Donna is dumb as a rock and a liar besides. She and sloppy Chris Christie should be fired from highly discredited ABC fake news. They just paid me $16 million for inaccurate reporting. Now they should pay me more. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I wish they paid me $16 million. You can discredit me all you want. But yeah, can you imagine that? $16 million and to him, that's just peanuts. Just peanuts. What I would do with $16 million. I'm sure everybody would have something for what to do or dreams of what they would do with $16 million. Check this out. This happened in Vienna. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Vienna is in Spain or in Italy. Don't get me on that, but I think Vienna is in Italy now that I think of it. So anyway, the Vienna judges have endorsed Sharia arbitration. So they're trying to bring Sharia, I always have a hard time pronouncing that stupid word, law, arbitration into Italy. All right. They really want to start a civil war in these countries, guys. That's what the whole plan is with the Soros and all that, with the deep state, with the elites, the people that are still around that haven't been captured. They really are doing their best to try to start civil war around the world. That's what they're aiming for. All right. That's the whole point, is cause chaos. All right. Just to let you know. It's not going to happen, but I'm just saying that's what they're doing. Now, this is what should be brought up. All right. In 1649, King Charles I was executed for treason. Just saying. All right. 1649, a king. King Charles. King Charles. I wonder how that works out. King Charles was executed. Guys, back not too long ago, I'm not going to say not too long ago, but in Canada history, I don't know if it was the 30s, but a bunch of Newfoundlanders tried to hang the Prime Minister of Canada. If you don't believe me, check it out. Check it out the year that a bunch of Newfoundlanders tried to hang the Prime Minister of Canada. That law needs to come back to politicians, all right? Politicians need to be, if they're trialed and found guilty of treason, of going against the people, no, never mind the jail cell. If they were in power and they did anything against crimes against humanity and treason to hurt anything in humanity, they should be dealt with by the proper way, and it would be a public hanging. That would smarten and do a lot of things and probably stop a lot of politicians in their track. To be honest with you, there wouldn't be no more politicians anyway. But speaking of, treason, this New Brunswicker on the left-hand side was sent to jail in prison for 240 days. All right. He was from up north New Brunswick, threatening because he threatened an immigrant, apparently a Muslim woman, or threatening immigrants, and a Liberal MP named Serge Cormier. This question was, we were talking about this Friday night. Someone asked me, he said, Jeff, how are we ever going to, if we start this party, how are we ever going to get our to win seats up in very French liberal towns? And my exact words is the liberals are going to eat themselves. The liberal voters are going to be eating themselves and definitely turning on the liberal MPs. And sure enough, the next day, bam. Because when I looked at all the comments on that post, I would say 95% of them were all for that gentleman saying, this is what happens when you speak up against immigration. And this is in these northern areas that are hardcore elbows up libtards that are sick and tired of the amount of immigrants coming to their towns. So they're going to turn on the liberals. That's how our party is going to win. I already had the answer Friday, but that was just proof. I didn't even know about that. But I know, maybe I'm just psychic or psycho. Either way, it's just common sense. And this was actually a very good write-up by a gentleman that was at the gathering Friday that I didn't know that did this for a group called the News Chasers. So he said there was a freedom group that met and exemplified this evening in O'Connell Park as concerned citizens met in an informal atmosphere to discuss and exchange ideas on how to establish an alternative political party for New Brunswick. It was their very first of many. They hold meetings across rural New Brunswick to spread the word and hear people's concerns. It could be the start of something great. You got that right, my friend. It's going to be something great. Because again, foundation, then the framing, then the rest of the house. And I'm pretty much got it, probably a good chunk of the foundation ready to go. And I've got my 10 pointers on how to get people, get people to, jump ship, I guess you could say. I'm going to talk about one thing and one thing only, and you'll probably hate me and you probably won't. And I can't remember, but I did this on my last live, but I'm not 100% sure. If anybody follows Derek Johnson, obviously a lot of you follow Derek Johnson, and Derek is not a person that speaks bad about anybody. But I watched him one night because I don't watch it all because he talks a lot. He talks so long. I don't know how he does it. But Derek is a very religious, God kind of person. If you watch Rattle Trap 1776, Derek Johnson. And if anybody watches him, they'll know that Derek Johnson is a very loyal person. But he said one night, because he's a country singer, all right? He's a country singer. He plays the guitar. He sings. He won some awards. But he never could make it to up because he never jumped on the ship of what they need to do to make it big, all right? Which gets for me to show you guys. Now, I know you guys are going to probably shit on me for this, but that gentleman that you see in front with the smile, it's a crappy photo, but that's Jelly Roll, all right? That's Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll was some rapper that acted ghetto, that talked ghetto, that walked ghetto, that wore his pants ghetto. Everything you could imagine about Jelly Roll was ghetto. Now, that ghetto person happened to turn all of a sudden and get tattoos all over his face and his neck and his arms and that cross on his face, and all of a sudden turned famous. Now, I've said it once, I said it twice, and Derek Johnson confirmed it, which was I already knew. But if you think Post Malone and Mr. Jelly Roll, haven't sold their souls to the devil, you are not seeing the big picture. Am I right? Just like Garth Brooks, just like Joe Diffie, just like a lot of people. All right? Could never understand how a person that's over 300 pounds start off as a ghetto rap person that can't even sing, puts a cross on his face, and you guys don't even know what the cross really stands for, obviously, because it's an upside down cross, all right, when he looks at it, okay? And you guys think that he's there for God because he sings about God. Let's remember one thing about Satan. Satan's biggest trick in the world is to make people believe that Satan never existed. You understand? But Derek Johnson confirmed that with me because he knows. He knows exactly how Jelly Roll got to where Jelly Roll had to go. All right? Just to let you know, You guys can crap all over me and say, that's not true. Jelly Roll is this and Jelly Roll is that. Jelly Roll is the poster boy for diabetes. When I see someone like that, that's not a country star. Country stars, Clint Black, Alan Jackson, Travis Tritt, George Jones, Conway Twitty, Sammy Kershaw. You know, I can go on. All right. Rascal Flatts. If you guys think that Jelly Roll and Post Malone are country stars, you guys have been misled. All right. Misled by the devil himself or the demon, a demon. All right. So anyway, that's enough for diabetes and heart disease. All right. So I'll erase that picture out so I don't have to show again. And we all know what happened with, you know, you go woke, you go broke. Obviously, congratulations to Cracker Barrel on changing your logo back to what it was. All of your fans very much appreciate it. Good luck into the future. Make lots of money. More importantly, make your customers happy again. Yeah, guys, they went and changed their logo to make it look woke, and they lost hundreds of millions of dollars. And Keith Urban is in it too. Yes, Keith Urban is in it too, obviously, because he's married to Nicole Kidman, who was married to Tom Cruise. So, yes, Kidman or whatever his name, you know, Keith Urban is part of that crew too, just to let you guys know. All right, Mo, got to see you. See you Thursday, Mo. And guys, I think that will be it for me for tonight. I think that's enough. I think I showed you guys a lot of videos. I showed you guys a lot of pictures. To be honest with you, I love you guys all. We'll see you guys back Thursday night for more Real Truth. I mean, I've got a lot to show you now. I'll try to hold it off for Thursday. If other things might come up, obviously, Trump is doing a lot of things. Anyway, have a great night. We'll see you guys back Thursday. And I think I'll close it off for tonight by giving a little outro video of what is expected to come with Donald Trump. So like Don Cherry says, you people hold that line. And to my Colombian family, adios amigos. And we'll see you guys back Thursday at 9 o'clock for real more truth. All right. Raw truth, obviously, with common sense. Talk to you guys later.
This represents
what all of it.
Memories the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people in this room. I will tell you that. And we'll have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.